Yes, this is Tactical Red, and you're on Tactical United. You know what's mad? Like, nil-nil Man United versus Liverpool. Got Fulham on Wednesday. Tactically speaking, we didn't want to win the game. Ollie never wants to win the game, in my opinion. What he does is play Fred and McTominay. And if you look at our stats playing Fred and McTominay in big games this season, it doesn't look good. Like, you have to control the game, and then Ollie was saying about him wanting to control the game, and we didn't control the game enough. We didn't play well enough to win the game, but you keep selecting Fred and McTominay, two players that don't control the game. So why do you keep continuously doing that? There must be a reason why you continuously don't control the game. Play Pogba in the midfield. Play Matic in the midfield. Players who can hold on to the ball. Players that can do things with the ball. Not runners. McTominay sometimes, yesterday, McTominay did do little things, but controlling the game he cannot do. Fred, again, little things, but controlling the game cannot do. You know, this is, people talk about what we want in Man United and what we want to be in Man United. Ollie talks about what we want to be, but it's clear, it's clear, it's very clear that he doesn't have any tactics except for defense. And the thing is, you play two holding midfielders and they're still cutting through us, which should tell you that it is not working, and they're not the best holding midfielders. Matic can hold a midfield on his ones. You have to put Fred and McTominay there to do it together, and they don't even do it. Number two, Bruno Fernandes. Shocking for me. The worst player on the pitch. Him and Rashford is very, very close. I've always been an advocate of these two players play for themselves. These two players have been given this freedom by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has given these players this like, I can do what I want kind of thing, and it's fine. And what's happening now with Bruno Fernandes? Let me tell you what's happening, because I see through the curtains. I do. When I say Bruno Fernandes, Ollie doesn't like Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes doesn't like Ollie. But Ollie needs Bruno Fernandes. Ollie needs Bruno Fernandes because Ollie knows that Bruno Fernandes doesn't do as he's told. He doesn't track back. He doesn't play simple. He does Hollywood. Ollie knows. Ollie doesn't want Bruno to do this. I've seen a few comments about Bruno Fernandes that Ollie makes. I'm telling you, there's going to be a clash. It's coming. There's going to be a clash between Bruno Fernandes and Ollie, because ultimately, Bruno Fernandes thinks that he's the best and he's the manager. Now, why does he think like that? This is the question. Why? Is it because Ollie's so weak that he doesn't show any leadership skills, that someone like Bruno Fernandes with a strong personality will come into that type of dressing room and think, well, no one's running the show, so I might as well run it? It looks like it. It looks like it to me. It's coming to the point where Bruno Fernandes is being a bit more detrimental in games than effective. Now, it's not been for a long period. It's been about 3 or 4 games, but if you ask any Man United fan that understands tactics on a serious level and watches football on a level that we're talking about, and I think some of you guys do that watch Man United on a level that's like not just numbers, like, oh, he scored a goal, he has made an assist. Like, I'm not talking about this level of watching the games. I'm talking about watching a game with a view, with a longevity, watching it with a longevity to see how well the players can play and what type of system they can play in and how they can be utilized on a consistent basis. If you look at Bruno Fernandes, yeah, he scores goals, but what type of goals does he score? Most of them are penalties. Most of them are when he's in the box playing as a striker when he wants to. Like, you know, we're not talking about a guy who scores goals a lot of the time outside the box. We're not talking a guy who he basically just plays up front. He's basically our most forward player, even though he's supposed to be a midfielder. Even Gary Neville highlighted it for once. Finally, about time someone highlights in the midfield. Like, Bruno was just allowing Thiago to do what he wants. Why is Bruno not marking him? This is clearly management. This is clearly leadership, and he's not being told. And even if he is, he's not listening. It's going to become a problem. It's going to spread to the team. Bruno Fernandes is a selfish player. I've said this many occasions, and the reaction that he made when he came off, if that was Pogba or Martial, Lord Jesus. But when Bruno does it, he makes a little comment on Insta, some sort of indirect, like about battles, and if you fight them, then they're the battles that you feel most proud of when you look back, or something like that. Some bullshit. That was very subliminal. I don't know. It was very indirect, but it's gonna explode with Odi. I'm telling you, soon it's gonna explode. Like, it's gonna explode. And the thing is with Bruno Fernandes, the worse he plays, the more he starts complaining to others, because he's a type of player. Like, you have to look at Bruno Fernandes' career, and he's already failed in his career. Like, that's already in his mind. And the way I see Bruno Fernandes, he's like he wants to be a perfectionist, even though he's so far from being perfect. He wants to be a perfectionist, but he's not close to that. And I think he puts too much pressure on himself to perform. Like, instead of playing things simple, instead of being simplifying the game, which then he can then grow into it. He expects to just hit it at a bang, because I think with Bruno Fernandes, believe it or not, like, I think he feels like if he doesn't do the assist or GA, he's not worth anything, and he's not a striker. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not a striker. Like, he's not a striker, and you don't look at De Bruyne or someone else. They don't play like that. They do force to play at times, but the way Fernandes does it is erratic. It's completely erratic. It's not controlled. It's not decisive. It's erratic. It's erratic football. And I would rest him against Fulham. I would rest him. I would rest him. Put him on the bench, because as a manager, if Oli wants respect, as a manager, he should put him on the bench. If he wants respect, he has to understand that he makes the decisions as a manager. If I'm Oli, I'm like, I make the decisions, and we got Pogba there. Like, it's not like Bruno is your ultimate player that you can't put someone else there. You got Pogba, you got Van der Beek, you got players that can play there. So Bruno, you better be careful. But I don't think Oli has that type of mentality as a manager to show Bruno. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a very, very, it's very interesting. I think the Liverpool game indicated that we definitely are up there as individuals, and even though we didn't play our best individuals, we're still definitely up there with them. Because as I said before, I think individually, you're never gonna really look back at Liverpool's team and think, oh my God, Mane, Salah, Firmino, Henderson, Milner, Ronaldo, Fabinho. You're never gonna look back at them and really think like that. You're not. Like, 20 years time, we're gonna look back at this Liverpool team and just think, yeah, they was okay. Yeah, they played well for 2 seasons, but they said if you look at the manager, it's all about the manager. It's not even about the players. It's all about the manager. Like, Mane's got 6 goals this season. He's never really scores that many goals anyway. Like, never touches I don't think he's touched 20 goals in the Premier League season. He may have done it once, if that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about someone who's clinical out here. Even though he's a very good player, not clinical. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. It's very interesting how it's gonna play out. I think with Fulham, I think Fulham are a dangerous team. I think there's a lot of pressure now. Like, Ollie doesn't really feel comfortable being top. Like the way he talks with his press conferences and stuff, you know, you can see he's not that comfortable with it. You can see he you know, he's still, you know, we could have won that game and been 6 points clear of Liverpool, and you know, been 4 points clear of City. You know, that's a proper 5 points or 4 points. I don't even know. I think we're two. Yeah, we would have been 5 points clear of City, and you know, now we're like, you know, not, or 4 points. Fuck knows. Table changes too much. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, we could have. But to me now, Fulham is a big game. Every game's a big game. Every game is a big game. We got Fulham, then Liverpool again. Like, what are you gonna do in the FA Cup? What are you gonna do against them again? Like, trust me, these games are not a joke. These games are not a joke, and we could slip out of the top four. It's like, you know, you got Leicester, you got Tottenham, you got Man City, Liverpool. These teams can easily get top four. This is why I'm not opposed to Ollie's arse. Like a lot of these, you know, a lot of fans are like, yeah, Ollie's this, Ollie's that because he's top. I like, just because he's top, like he hasn't won anything. Like don't forget. Like, don't forget what has happened in the past, and you know, don't think that we're playing well, because we're not. We're not playing well. We haven't played well. Tell me one game that we've played well this season. I think the best game we've played this season is Leipzig, and the reason why is because we controlled the game. And you know the three players that we didn't have against Leipzig? Like, for me, like 5-0 is our best result. It's our best performance because Leipzig played very well and we shut them down. You know, I know we beat PSG away, but I don't think we played great. I think it was a good game performance against PSG too, but I think the Leipzig game was better. And yeah, man, we played very well, and we built a foundation of performance with possession based football, with controlled football, with movement, with certain like the players who played that game. I'll tell you right now, who started the game. I know Bruno Fernandes and Rashford came on and finished it off, but you know, I know that happened, and you know, but I still think before that game, I wish every Man United fan could go back and watch that game and watch what we did in that game. And, you know, three players that didn't play like that for me, they can't play a possession based game. Marcus Rashford didn't start the game, even though he scored a hat trick, and you know, with all that space at the back. Bruno Fernandes didn't start that game, and McTominay didn't start that game. Played with a diamond of Van der Beek at the top, Pogba on the left, Fred on the right, Matic holding, Greenwood and Martial up front. Greenwood scored first goal, and then you know, Leipzig still was dangerous, but I think we was very much in control. And then you know, obviously the substitutions came on and made us look a little bit more fresh, and we had more pace. And Bruno Fernandes did a Hollywood pass for the first goal. Like, let's be honest. I'm telling you, it's Hollywood. Like, he doesn't look. He just hits it in an area. That's it. Like, I don't look at that as talent. I don't. I like Fernandes. He's a goal scoring midfielder. He can score goals. He's dangerous. He's a dangerous player. Do you get me? He's a dangerous player. That's what I like about him. He's dangerous. He can score. He can do things that can change games. There's no doubt about it. Like, no doubt about it. But he's not consistent. He was at Udinese for 3 seasons and Sampdoria for 1 season. Didn't make it in Italy. Got sent back to Sporting Lisbon. No one wanted to buy him. We bought him. Yeah, he scored many goals for us and done different things. But I think if you want to win a title, I think if you want to get through to certain phases of Champions League, you need to utilize Bruno differently, and you need to have a manager who has a bit of balls and a bit of better attacking tactics than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like, we haven't played well in any games. Like, we haven't. And we're top of the league, but we haven't played well in any games. Like, you tell me one game we played well, and if you say Leeds, look at Leeds. They're trash. Leeds are trash. I've always said Bielsa. I don't see it. I don't see it. Like, you can't come to the Premier League and do that, play open like that, and I think that's gonna be successful. To me, it's not. Like, and your players can't maintain that level. The players can't maintain that level. And I know he's done okay, but he's not levels for me. These tactics are not levels. I think Brendan Rodgers has done a very good job. I think Brendan Rodgers is an underrated manager. I think Brendan Rodgers is an underrated manager. I think what he did at Liverpool, what he did, I mean, with that Liverpool team, he did wonders. And then what he did obviously he dominated Celtic. He dominated with Celtic. Like, he dominated. I know it's easier said than done. It's very easy to do it there, but it's easier said than done at the same time. And he's come to Leicester and he should have finished Champions League. He may finish Champions League this season or even better. Like, with the players he has, like, you got to say this guy's doing well. This guy's punching above his belt, and if he, I don't know if he's like top tier manager, but he might be. He actually might be. He might be a top tier manager. Like, he might be. I'm not even like, I'm saying with the Peps and the Klopps and that. I think he might be. Like, it's a shame he managed Liverpool. It's a shame. That's what I will say. It's a shame. But yeah, Brendan Rodgers is a top manager, and I think he should get spoken more about. Like, very consistent with Leicester, with a small squad, very consistent with with the level of players he has, very consistent. But if Oli had those players, you think they would be top? Do you think they'll be like? This is what I'm saying. Like, I respect what Oli's done this season. I respect him making us first. I respect it, but these individual games I'm watching, I can't not have doubts. And Gary Neville said, "Oh, Roy Keane and Paul Scholes never went to Anfield and dominated." Yes, they did. Gary Neville, what are you talking about? I remember when, like, I remember Scholes dominating Liverpool. I think it was 2002-3 season, and we beat them 3-1. I think Forlan scored and two, and so I think Solskjaer scored one. Actually, I remember Scholes ran that midfield like a fucking I think him and Nicky Butt and Varane was in them. That says he'd never seen that. What's he talking about? This is what I'm saying, like, man. These guys don't know what they're talking about sometimes. Honestly, like, you heard Jamie Carragher say that Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba can't play in the same team together. What are you talking about? Honestly, these pundits are embarrassing. They're getting paid and they know shit about football. Honestly, they do. Like the bias, and I don't know. Like Roy Keane talking about Paul Pogba, how has he missed that chance when Bruno missed? In my opinion, an easier chance. He hit it so soft and so timid. He's supposed to be a goal scoring midfielder. You should be thumping that with tickers, but he didn't, and that shows a man who's not confident right now. But Roy Keane focuses on Pogba, and we wonder why. We wonder why he's focusing on Pogba, but we all know why. But there's no evidence in it. Like, we know why. Anyway, I think Fulham is going to be a draw. I do. I don't think we're going to beat Fulham. I hope we do. It's all about the team selection. I want to see Matic in that midfield. I want to see pace. Cavani will start, but I told you I'm not. For me, the jury's out on Cavani. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced about Cavani. I know everyone. He scored like 2-3 goals, 4 goals maybe. That's it. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. 33, he's 34 now. Nearly 34, I think, this month. End of this month. I think beginning of next month actually. He's 34. Not convinced. Not convinced. He's got the movement. He's got the touch, kind of, the layoffs and that. But his body doesn't work. I can see it don't work. His body don't work. Like it's the way he shoot it. Like, it don't work. But he can still do a thing. He can do a thing, and he's a good bench option in my opinion. But I would like to see Martial up front, and I want to see Greenwood and Rashford. That's what I want to see. I want us to go at Fulham. I want us to say, do you know what? We're just gonna go at you, man, and see what I got. That's it. Anyway, I'm Tactical Red. This is Tactical United. Everyone enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, wherever you are at. Stay safe. Enough love.